But one of the things, I used to work on a lot of the old Rolex. I used to see a lot of the old pieces. And the one thing I remember is all the gaskets were lead. So when did they, do you know when they started using the rubber?
Before they were lead, they were leather.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is not a good thing to make dive watch or waterproof watch gaskets out of. It deteriorates really quickly. I am not 100% sure. I know that I believe the Rolex Oyster case used metal-to-metal fit.
I know it had lead because I've taken some of those apart on the old bubble backs.
Well, lead would be metal. I was thinking.
And they actually had a lead gasket in there, and you'd have to peel that lead gasket out. Actually, I think at home I even have a box of old lead gaskets. Okay. You know, of vintage gaskets that I wouldn't even in a restoration, I probably wouldn't use just because it's not reliable enough. Right. It's a strange feel when you screw down a watch case back and it has a lead gasket.
It probably sinks in a little bit. There's some give.
It's a little bit. It's a different give than butyl rubber has.
Interesting. I was going to mention that the first watch specifically designed and marketed for diving was the Omega Marine in 1932. And so Omega kind of bypassed the need to use Rolex's patent or design by creating a case within a case. So they actually had the movement, the crown, the whole 9 yards that would slip inside and seal at the top into the outer case, which was a waterproof case. Okay, was that a wristwatch or was that a wearable watch? That was a wristwatch. It was wearable. I believe it was worn in 1936. It was certified to something like 90 meters on 3 dives, which in 1932 is pretty incredible. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing anyone can go that deep in 1932. Yeah, exactly. They probably shouldn't have, but they did. Yeah, exactly. Some of the other things, let's talk about you for a minute, and some of the things you did. Again, you are a diver. You've taken some photographs for watch brands. I have. And let's see if we can pull some of these up. And right here, this is a bronze case, isn't it? That's a bronze case. That's Aquadive, which was revived by the folks out of Switzerland who revived the Doxa Synchron brand. And it was actually one of the earlier bronze cases produced. Very high quality. The thing with the bronze cases now is there are some that are coming from not great markets and not great production that are probably a little sketchy. You want to make sure you know what you're buying. These cases in particular are made from the CU SN8, which is a marine grade bronze. It's very corrosion resistant. It develops a really nice patina to the case. Just a really, really rich color. With bronze like this, you never want to get to the point where you've got green, chunky, crystallized corrosion, because what happens is the bronze reacts with the chlorides, and salt water having sodium chloride, which is salt, you end up with this. Well, actually, sodium chloride is table salt. I don't remember the particular chemical makeup of sea salt, but I'm sure it's pretty similar, if not identical. And what happens is it creates this green crust, which if you leave on the case will result in pitting. And one thing you don't want in a watch is pitting. It makes it look nasty, it makes it less functional, it can ruin the bezel, the crown, the whole 9 yards. So the idea is if you're diving in salt water with a bronze watch, you come out and you rinse it like you do all your gear. I rinse my BC, I rinse my fins and my mask and my wetsuit, and I'm going to rinse my bronze watch. Yeah, that's all you have to do. You have to rinse it too, because the patina is what people love in a bronze watch. Exactly. Bronze patina is like nothing else. We brought a couple examples along. The color of it, it shows age quicker than other watches, but it's beautiful. But I've also seen pictures, I think other people have seen them on Instagram as well, of bronze watches that are just completely crusted, and that's something that somebody went diving with but didn't rinse it off. And all you have to do is run it over some water. It's still going to patina. It's still going to get a very nice patina to it, but it's not going to ruin the watch. It's not going to pit it. When we talk about pitting, it's actually holes in the case that at a certain pressure can actually lead to a failure of the case. And when we talk about dive watches, it's your life that's in stake. Because you're actually timing how long you're underwater and how long you can stay underwater. Which are extremely critical. That's why, like on a Propoff, where it has the rotating bezel that locks, that bezel locks, so you can't by any chance move it. The single rotational bezels turn, so you can't back it up the opposite direction. So you think you've been underwater for less time, correct? To fool yourself that you could stay under longer than you can. And you actually time the ascents as well, right? Yeah, you can do a half stop. You can safety stops depending. If you're diving no decompression limits, you're diving recreational diving. You know, nowadays everybody has a dive computer. I have a dive computer, but I also dive with a wristwatch because you want redundancies in your system.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I have 2 dive lights and 2 dive knives and I carry a spare mask, I'm going to have an extra timing device in that. In this case, that's going to be my wristwatch. And as I go down with my dive buddy below the water, I'm going to set the bezel so that it's on the minute hand, and I'm going to know how much time has expired, so I know when I need to come back up.
Very cool. Very cool.